Welcome,
Hello, welcome.
Jimmy. While people are joining, I do have to ask you how your bracket is looking.
Mark, I'm embarrassed to admit that I've been so consumed with working on our product that I didn't even make one.
I heard everyone's knocked out of the running though, so not missing too much.
Mark, did you get this as a regular meeting? Now we can see people again.
Yeah, we got it. We got it set up as a regular meeting. We had to expand our Zoom license so we can have people's faces and voices.
Wow,
Yeah.
didn't even know it was possible.
Big hand for
Should
Mark.
we get? Yeah.
No,
Now, was it Mark or was it Lark who did that?
I we'll talk about Lark.
All right, should we get started here?
Yeah, let's go ahead. I'll kick us off, Jimmy, if that's all right.
Sure.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to the Partner Roundtable for March 2025. We were just talking before everyone joined. This marks a year since our very first roundtable, and we're really excited to see the growth. For those of you who, it might be your first time here, the roundtable format just means that you can ask questions, we can see you, we can hear you. There's no stupid questions because other people might benefit from the same questions that you have. And as we get more and more partners on these calls and more chatter happening in the chat and more questions being asked, the more that everyone benefits. So don't be afraid to ask questions. You can ask them in the chat. You can raise your hand. You can ask us during the presentation. This is really a resource for you. So this is a round table. Everyone's got the same seat. That's why we do it in this meeting style now. So, that being said, just as everyone's coming in, we want to start with some partner resources. We're going to get through this pretty quickly, get through some go to market strategies, and then the really exciting stuff we saved for the end, where Jimmy's going to talk about some really cool things with our roadmap. So, I'll kick us off with the partner resources. The first thing
Why
is
don't you
something.
introduce yourself first, Mark? I'm sure everybody
Oh,
knows you, but
yeah, of
let's
course.
why don't you and JP and myself introduce ourselves?
Yeah, let's do that. Um, my name's Mark. I am the manager of AI adoption at Hats. So I sit neatly between customer support, prompt engineering, and use case ideation. There's a bunch of things that fall into those categories. So I'm happy to help with any of those. JP?
And JP here. I work very, very closely with Mark, and together we help you, MSPs, provide AI as a service, particularly focused on the go-to-market. So, pulling together all the resources that might help you share some of the AI go-to-market material with your customers. But it's a two-way street. We learn a lot from MSPs. So, as Mark said at the outset, love feedback, love the engagement, and we're very fortunate to have some folks in this call that have contributed to a lot of the content that we already have, and we love sharing it with others. Jimmy?
Jimmy Hatzel, founder and CEO, Hats AI. Delighted to be with everyone. I spend almost all my time these days running our product and engineering team. So very, very delighted to be with all of you.
All right. Thanks,
Back to you,
guys.
Mark.
All right. Uh, the first little update here is we're really excited to announce that we are retiring our course Fundamentals of AI. It is coming back, don't worry, as AI Foundations on April 1st. And this new course will cover a lot of the same content, a lot of the same topics, but it's more aligned with the Hats AI platform, more aligned with our features. And it's also designed for your clients, not just MSPs. So it really covers both. It also has more information about security, AI terminology, and use cases that were missing from our first course, Fundamentals of AI. So be on the lookout for this on April 1st. You'll get an email when it's available in our learning platform. The next update is a revamped help@hats.ai. We have this is our email for issues and questions, anything that you need help with. We have a new ticketing system there, which leads to faster resolutions and better support for our partners. So if you have any questions, I know many of you reach out directly to JP and myself. You can still do that, but if you CC help@hats.ai, you'll get more eyes faster and a quicker response. The second part is our docs.hats.ai page with all of our articles. Those have been updated with new features and new things in the platform, but it also has an AI powered chat support. Jimmy will talk about this a little bit later too, but we wanted to show you this is our Hats AI support agent named Lark Meeper. And Lark can help you navigate our articles and answer questions. If you have questions about prompt engineering, use cases, how to log in, troubleshooting things, all of those can be asked of Lark, and he'll help you get sorted out. So try that out if you want to. Just go to docs.hats.ai and start asking him questions. We've also been busy on our blog. There's just some good content here for MSPs. So if you want to check out hats.ai /blog, recommend doing that. We have a really good community of MSP partners coming to our office hours twice a week, and also some good chatter on Discord. So if you need the links for either of those, just let us know. The last thing that I have before we move into go to market is I just want to say that there are a lot of people who have not quite finished setting up your tenant. So you might be missing about half of the platform, including the chat. If you log into admin.hats.ai and you don't see go to user view, then you're missing the chat and you're also missing a lot of features that are only available in the user view. So what you can do is check out settings and go to my interface, create your subdomain, and then save changes. That will get you this button in just a few minutes, and you'll be able to go and use the rest of the platform. So if you haven't done that, if you have any questions, go ask Lark Meeper, or send us an email for help. But that's the way to do it. So I will pass it over to JP, and JP will take it from here.
Yeah, let me just chime in there,
Oh,
Mark.
sure.
I've heard that you've gotten a lot of um, great chatter, banter, learning, peer support on your office hours. So I definitely want to plug that. I've been able to join them here or there. They're always a lot of
Mhm.
fun. Great thing to go to. Even if you have maybe a tech on your team who's playing around or trying to build something, definitely a resource that you can send anyone to. Because a lot of people who are building every day or on that every week, sometimes twice a week, just chatting and learning from each other.
Mhm. Yeah, thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, really great stuff there, Mark. And actually, the blog, I'd say, just to pick up on that, um, we've seen a couple of MSPs just take that content, repurpose it, put your logo on it, send it to your customer. We're in the education business as well as everything else and helping people broaden their horizons around AI. Part of that, and again, for those that have just joined a bit late, today's roundtable, Jimmy's shortly going to come and talk about roadmap and Q&A. So any questions you have, take a mental note. So it won't be long here, but we did want to thank those MSPs that have quickly shared our first AI open house with their customers. So what's an AI open house? Well, it's our way to help you create opportunities. Um, you An opportunity for us to maybe share the art of the possible. Mark's going to go through a couple of things tomorrow in terms of tangible use cases for small businesses, and it's really grounded in reality. It's not abstract AI dreams. They're real, repeatable, high value use cases that businesses can start automating today. And Mark, you might have the next slide there. I think there's some, yeah,
Mhm.
and some real tangible use cases from SOC creation to onboarding new customers or answering security questionnaires. Some of these you already have within your own MSP, I hope, but we've repurposed a lot now and going to present them to end customers tomorrow to show them, the present advantage. And that's the key takeaway. What can they be right now begin using AI for? And we wanted to create a space where we can demonstrate that directly to your end customers and then create those opportunities for you. Next slide, please, Mark. Maybe also to share a little sneak peek, maybe some of the things we're going to talk about tomorrow, because, and this is very, very topical, and Jimmy's probably going to touch on this a little bit later as well. The biggest issue, or not the issue, but the reality right now is that the pace of acceleration is phenomenal. It's actually what's most misunderstood. And if you're paying a little bit of attention to some of the AI news stories out there, you'll hear that the capability for AI is doubling almost every like 70 days, 3 months. And so if you like reframe that a little bit, every couple of months, AI can handle twice as much complexity, twice as much autonomy, twice the context. And in the same time it takes us to onboard a new employee, AI has evolved to double what it can do right now. So next slide, please, Mark. So, we want to probably shine a little bit of light on that. And so business owners can understand that this is not like a linear progress as it's shown here. It's really like a rocket. And it's faster than Moore's Law, which a lot of people are familiar with. And what feels very cutting edge today, and some of the things that we all see within the HATS platform today will actually feel basic in about 3 months. It's moving that quickly, and Jim's going to shine a light on some of the things that Hats have coming down the pipeline. So, one of the main messages we have tomorrow, if that you're waiting for a perfect AI tool to arrive, uh, you're missing the point. The perfect tool is now. You need to get started now and leverage what you have. And the playbook that we shared with you previously is the call to action for your end customers. The bottom line is, you don't need to be experts. We can guide you. You look for somebody that's going to guide you through the adoption, which is you as as their MSP, and help them get started and wrapping it all up into this playbook. So there's some of the things we're going to highlight tomorrow. Um, and I think we've seen tremendous uptake for the first AI open house. So that's great. Um, I think there's a lot of learning we've had, and we've tremendous feedback from MSPs. So what we're definitely going to do another one, probably later in April, early May. But within the next probably 7, 10 days, we're going to release a package which will include the new date, and we're going to have dedicated links for MSPs to use. So you might want to have your own landing page, or we'll create one for you, so you can incorporate your own logo and share it with your customers. It's also a good place to share with existing HATS customers. So again, to help refresh them and get them started on the platform. So that's a couple of things there. Mark, the one thing I just before I finish up, I'll probably set you up here a little bit. Like I said, we're going to shine a light on use cases. And it seemed to us over the last couple of weeks, we obviously spend a lot of time in the platform demonstrating the capabilities, which are phenomenal. With that, we have a lot of sample files, sample documents, and you're going to show now, I think, a neat way for MSPs to again take some of those and have them demonstrated to their customers. So maybe you walk us through
Mhm.
that a little bit.
Yeah, so thanks for that, JP. We've gotten this question quite a bit, which is, well, I want to demo this use case, but I don't have the right files on hand, or I need to sanitize some of my own sales data or something to show one of these use cases. And so what we've done is we've created a bunch of sample files that match some use cases. We built apps and put them in the community workshop. So if you would like access to this, this is all in a one. It's a shared drive that you just need to let us know you want access. We'll put a link in the chat. The way this works, a little video here. There's a folder with files that correspond to the apps. So if you're going to use the multiple file analysis app and demo that, well, here's some sample data that you can use. If you're going to do the sales coach, you can download these files. There's also a explanation of how to use the files and how to access the apps. So these are kept on a deck or on a spreadsheet with a sales deck link to it. And what you can do here is click on, if you see the multiple file analysis, this will take you to that folder where all of those sample files are. You can click on the link to the app in the community workshop, and this will open the app right up. But let's say you're pitching to a law firm. Here's how you can rework that use case for a law office, or you're meeting with the CFO, financial office. You're meeting with someone who's an office admin. These are little explanations of how you can rework those use cases, things like customer support, HR, proposal generators across different industries. So you can access the app, download the files, and just do this right as a part of your pitch. So hopefully that's helpful. If you want access to that, one of us will put a link to. You just need to let us know, and we'll share it because it's not publicly available. But hopefully that helps. And now this is the exciting part. If you notice, the format of today's roundtable was a little bit different. We typically have a partner spotlight. We have a lot to show with the product and roadmap. So I will hand it over to Jimmy to walk us through all of that.
Great. Thanks, Mark. And thanks, everyone. Yeah, so I just want to go through, like, as always, updates from last month, what's on the horizon. And I think like or I did a lot of reflecting, and our company's like entering a new phase on sort of like what we do and where we're going and all of that. And we just expanded our engineering team. Um, we are maturing in a lot of ways, and I really wanted to just give you the sort of like inside scoop of like how we're thinking about things, what we're building, why we're building things in a certain way. And hopefully, a lot of things will click on like, why we did the things that we did, and, why we didn't take shortcuts in certain places. So just to start out, we'll go through, the new features. So since we last spoke, we added four new models. GPT 4.5 preview that is available in the platform. Um, we added XAI as well. So our plan with XAI, like Grok 2 and Grok 2 Vision are pretty good, but Grok 3 is like very, very good. So Grok 3 hasn't been released anywhere besides the grok.com so far, or xai.com. So as soon as they release that, which we're told is going to be in the coming weeks, for the past few weeks, so it could be any day now, we will be able to add it to the platform because we've already built the infrastructure to support XAI models. And then we also added DeepSeek R1. So some notes about DeepSeek. We have DeepSeek hosted in AWS. It is a distilled model. So like, if you saw it in the release notes, I asked some things that are censored in the DeepSeek hosted version, the Chinese version. And the version that we have, which is a little different than that version, will answer those questions, and it's not going to have that like blatant censorship around like historical events and things like that. Another thing to keep in mind is we are, this is inside AWS, so it's hosted with the same sort of like security protocols that we use for Anthropic, that we use for Llama models or Mistral models. So, I saw the question in the chat from Lynette, is DeepSeek trusted now? So that's, everyone's own opinion. I personally would not use deepseek.com. That's my own sort of like opinion on that. But because DeepSeek is an open source model, we were able to run it without the sort of like data privacy concerns and censorships that DeepSeek.com version has. So it is a reasoning model. It is very good. It is fairly low consumption in terms of like credits and things like that. So it is a great model and was definitely a technological breakthrough on the distillation process that it went through. Um, and there are some arguments that in the actual training data, it does lean a little bit towards being untrusted for people were complaining about things like it telling you how to make a bomb or something like that. So the version that we have has that stuff removed, and I personally do use it, and you can rest assured that your data is safe in this version, and you're not going to get that blatant censorship. You can think of it as any open source model like a llama model. All right. So we improved our retrieval augmented generation. So basically, just to give a quick refresher here, um, AI can only read a certain amount of words in a single response. So when you're working with documents that are bigger than it sort of is allowed, it can read in a single response or single query. It has to basically look through all of the documents and score them mathematically on relevance and then choose which paragraphs to input that. So basically, if you're having a chat with an AI model in our platform and you have files in the chat, what we do is if the file is larger than, or all of the files there are larger than the context window, so it can't actually read all the files in a single request, we use something called retrieval augmented generation. So basically, when you make a request to something like that, it'll go and create mathematical representations of every chunk, which you can think of like a paragraph. Um, and it'll search for them based on relevancy. So previously, we kind of just found like the top chunk relevant to the query and put it back into the chat. And now we created a new ranking system where basically the AI will check how much room is left based on with the chat history and how the request size, and then pull in as many chunks as possible that pass a similarity threshold. So, not to get too into the math on all of that, it's like a cosine similarity threshold of chunks of text. But basically, you get a lot better performance. So, if you ask for things like, how many times was this mentioned in this document previously, because we had limitations on the number of chunks received, it may not respond accurately, or it only responds with a couple of paragraphs of that document. Now it is much, much, much better, and it's a lot faster too. So that's why also responses will take a little longer if you have lots of large files. What it's doing in the background is it's creating embeddings and searching them. So like in this sort of example, I'm showing real time, no editing. I uploaded a document that's like hundreds of pages. So it takes about 5 to 10 seconds to sort of look through all of it, create the mathematical representations, pull in everything that's relevant, and send it back to the chat. So there's nothing you need to do. It works out of the box for App Builder, for chat. It's all happening in the background. Basically, you'll just see improvements with that. And there's some specific use cases that we saw from clients, definitely like legal clients and things like that, who are working with lots of files. Um, so excited about that. Okay. Okay. Oh, how do I get the UI that Jimmy showed? So if you go and click on under your name in the platform, you can there's a toggle for dark mode. So that was something that we released last month and covered in the last roundtable. Um, eh, Let me see if I can show it back here. Actually, I don't have my name in there, but basically up in this sort of corner of the platform where it shows your name, you just click the little down button and yep, you got it. Cool. Our Zapier integration, we previewed it last month, and we were looking for testers. Um, Kudos to everyone. We had like 300 requests sent over it in the first 2 days of testing, and we did get it approved. So it is out on the Zap store or whatever they call it in the repository. If you don't know how to use the API or you don't have the patience or time to sort of do that, you can very easily use a Zapier integration to interact with your HATS apps. So that is out and ready to go. We also added some more admin style updates, like more on the management. So you can upgrade packages from within the platform. If you have if you have a user who maybe is over their number of credits and they're not sort of like don't fit into the next tier, you can purchase extra credit packs inside the platform. And you can like now it'll show like exactly what each tenant has. So, less sexy of features, but definitely useful. We also added some features related to user management. So, we soft cap everything. So nobody's like losing access if they go over their credits and you're not getting like a surprise bill out of nowhere. But there are warnings built in to the platform now. And then, we had, some basically before you could send an invite to 10 users even if you only had 9 seats available, the 10th user wouldn't be able to log in. So we are preventing that now, and over the next few days you'll see a couple of releases related to invitations and ensuring that those work a lot better and it's a lot smoother when people first log in and use the platform. So excited about those. I'm sure Mark is excited too.
So is
And then,
Lark.
yeah, so is Lark. Mark already showed the AI Help Center. I'll just play the video again. But I just wanted to call out, like I thought it was kind of dumb that we were an AI company and didn't have AI enabled support. So we are building stuff similar to this inside the platform where we'll be able to interact with like your actual apps and, help you build them and, look at your settings and look at your features and look at your users. But we wanted to get something out and available to everyone right now. So in the semi near future, you'll see a lot of this stuff integrated directly into the platform, and a lot of capabilities like instead of bringing you to a docs page on how to set up your subdomain, it would say, hey, I noticed your subdomain isn't set up. Here's how you do it. I'm bringing you to the page to do it. Or would you like me to set it up for you? So, that kind of stuff is definitely coming soon. And I just wanted to touch on it here, but this is definitely very helpful. And I've been using it a lot, and we've seen AI resolutions. Also, like with lots of new customers too, we wanted to make sure that we were scaling support and making sure we had a proper ticketing system so people aren't just emailing and not sure who's going to respond or when. Although we do get back to people. I don't want to paint the picture that we don't. But it keeps things a lot more organized. And, as all MSPs yourselves, I'm sure you can appreciate the need for proper ticketing, tracking, analytics, all of that kind of stuff. So sort of like the next couple things that we are going to release is our multi-step workflows. I'll show you a preview of that, and Office 365 too. And then we have a lot of releases related to search and like MCP servers. I'll cover those in a second as well. But we did, knock out a couple things that we shared last month in the near-term roadmap, which is typically set 2 to 3 months in advance. And I'm going to be, showing you sort of a longer-term view in a second here. So this week we are adding an Office 365 integration into the platform. So you're all MSPs. You all probably can appreciate the difference between a application that requires an Office application that requires an enterprise application integration and one that doesn't. So we wanted to offer both to clients. So this week you'll have basically a version in Hats where it's sort of like that, like permissions pop-up window, and users can accept it without you as the MSP needing to install an enterprise application for them. And then, depending on your settings, if you allow users to accept third-party permissions um, for specifically retrieving files, not updating them or not writing to them, then it'll work out of the box. If not, they may need to request admin approval. So definitely wanted to give everyone a heads up here that that is coming very soon. Over the next few weeks, we're going to see what I like to think as a more proper Microsoft integration, like a true persistent Microsoft Graph integration. This is going to require an enterprise app installation, but what it'll give us is the ability to integrate, more closely with OneDrive and SharePoint, calendar access, email access, Teams access. All of this stuff will be granular permissions for you, so you or your users can decide what's allowed and what's not allowed. But it'll make us a lot easier to actually interact with your data that is hosted in Microsoft, whether that be Teams messages, emails, or just files, or maybe updating a calendar or something like that. So all very exciting stuff. We also are working on building a MCP integration, which I'm going to talk about a lot more in a second here, which allows you as the MSP or your users to build actual custom uh, Microsoft integrations for the AI, and will also allow for more granular control over it too. So, it's not going to be out of the box stuff, or some will be out of the box, but it's not going to be stuff that we, you know, uh, uh, would recommend giving write access on the first go round. But if you, as an MSP admin, want to enable access to query the Microsoft Security Center, or your users management, or licensing or something like that, that will all be available to do inside of our platform over the next couple months. Microsoft is huge, Microsoft Graph, and there are other APIs. So we're taking it in pieces, and you'll see lots of updates basically once every week or every other week, sort of something related to Microsoft being added to the platform. Does anyone have questions about this or anything else before I keep going? Okay, cool. Um, I also wanted to show our multi-step workflows. So this is another thing coming out in the next few days or weeks. So basically, instead of having a single app inside of like you can build multiple apps and have outputs from one app build into another. They don't have to be connected. You can have them all just run simultaneously. So if you're building, say, a marketing plan, or you have multiple apps that you typically run parallel to each other, if they share inputs, or you're usually copying the output from one and putting it into another, you'll be able to build all of those into a single workflow. And then you will get the final results and the results of each step back via the API or via the UI. So, it's got the whole, zooming in, zooming out, add outputs, add inputs, use different models for different steps. Lots of really cool stuff here. And I'm really excited to get this out. We've been working on it for a long time. It's also, a foundation for us because we're going to add our integrations in here too. So as we add more integrations like web search, Office 365, calendars, like that kind of stuff, you'll be able to access them inside the workflows and build steps that are specific to that as well. Now I wanted to go into a little bit more of um, like sort of like where we're going and why we're doing things the way that we are, because a lot of people have asked, and I've shared with people individually, but I think people, I think it helps paint a bigger picture of Why partner with us? Why do this? Where is AI going? What is it? We say, the CEO of NVIDIA is saying IT departments are going to be like HR managers for AI agents. What does that mean, and what does it look like in practice?